In this lesson, we're going to log into a brand new, freshly installed database for Gambit Games. We're going to set up the company details, including the logo. We'll reset the admin password, username and password, and we'll set up the default layout for our documents, which will be the template that will be used for invoices and purchases and those sorts of things. So the first thing we do to get underway, let's log in. The default login is admin and admin. Not very secure, so we highly recommend, strongly recommend to change that as soon as you possibly can. So we'll log into our database, and once that loads, we land on the discuss page as always, and we can see we've got we're logged in as the administrator and so forth. So we can go from here and manage our preferences and account details, but we'll go into the settings and do it from there in this case. So the reason why is because you can you'll see how to manage multiple users from here. So the first thing we'll need to do is go into manage, into manage users, click on the admin account, and we'll edit this. So these lines that are in got the, I'm going to say lilac, lavender, whatever colour that is. These are mandatory fields. Any that are just white and non-mandatory don't have to be changed, don't have to be populated. But the ones within that's highlighted, we do need to change. So first thing we'll do is we'll change the name, and Wendy Walker is the owner of Gambit Games, and we'll change the email address to Wendy at gambitgames.biz. So as soon as we apply this, it'll log me out because we've now changed our login. So it'll log me out straight away, and then we'll need to log in with using this email address to log in instead of admin. So I'll copy this right now. I've copied it. So we'll save this, and there it goes. It logs me out, expired it straight away. So now I've got to log in with that email address. The password we haven't changed yet, so we can remain as admin. I don't recommend saving the passwords in your browser as I have done here, but for demonstration purposes and speed and that sort of thing, I've allowed it to save. We'll log in. We don't want to save that. So now we're logged in with using this name, and notice that it's actually changed the display name up here as well. So to Wendy Walker. The next thing we need to do is change the password. So the reason why we're changing the password in this method, I just wanted to show you that if we're the administrator, we can manage other people's logins. So if someone forgets their password or whatever, we can manually reset it here. We can also, if you notice behind the screens, that we can send the user a password reset instruction, so we don't need to actually do it on their behalf every time. But if we have email set up correctly, then we can just send the email to them and they can change the password. So anyway, I'll put in my new password and change, and again it logs me out. Now I should still have that username in the keyboard, in the clipboard, and now I'll log in with the new password. Log in. So with passwords, highly recommended to have strong passwords, so not just commonly used words and those sorts of things. Use passwords that have combinations, uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and symbols as whenever possible, but try and use them in a way where you can remember what they are without having to write them down. We'll press on. So we've now successfully changed it. Our database is much more secure now. We've changed the default from admin to this email address, and the password from admin to something else. So it's much more secure now. So we'll be going through these settings and so forth in another course, in another lesson. But for the moment, that's done the first part of our requirements. The next thing we want to do is, if we go back to settings, we want to change our company details here. So we go into settings, general settings, under companies, we want to manage our company. So the term company here means company or business. If we open up the company property sheet, we can see that it's pretty much got not a lot of information in there, so we'll edit this. The name of this company is Gambit Games, and for an email address we'll put in Wendy at gambitgames.biz. .biz. We can put in our URL for our website there as well if we want to. I can leave that blank. As I said, the only mandatory one here is the currency and the name. All the rest are optional. However, there's a good chance that we're going to need this information in here. So I'll put some information in here. Put in, I can't spell today, High Street. I'll just put in Melbourne here. That's in Victoria. And 3,000. I'm not even sure if there is a High Street in Melbourne. But anyway, that's fine. For the sake of this exercise, it demonstrates how to insert the details in here. And you can put in your company registry, say ABN and ACN could go into these fields, one of these fields, so tax ID and your company registry. Contacts, you may have 1300 numbers, or you may have landlines, or you might have mobile numbers. You can enter those as well. I'll leave them blank for the moment because we don't really need them for this exercise, but the more complete that information, the more people can contact you and buy your products. Next thing we'll do is we'll change the logo. So I'll click on the little pencil here, and I will go to the course and lesson 1, and in artifacts I've got the Gambit Games logo. So you'll be able to download this from the accompanying link. So we'll open, and that now changes the logo for Gambit Games. So we can save that information now, and that takes us, does a refresh on the page. And next thing we can do is go back to the settings again, to the general settings, and we can configure our document layouts. So configuring this is essentially the template that's used to create most of your correspondence, so invoices, purchase orders, those sorts of things. You'll notice that it's pulled in the logo and actually pulled the colours out of the logo itself automatically. We didn't need to do anything, that just did it by itself. So that's quite a nice feature. So, and you'll notice that some of this text is using these colours that is pulled out, so everything kind of lines up and looks right. We've got a couple of different layouts here. So this is just a sample of an invoice, and we can download it and preview the PDF in a big form, just so we can look at it and make sure it's the way we like it. But we've got a couple of different layouts we can choose. We've got the light one, which is this one. We can choose boxed, which just changes the layout. It's got some highlighting and so forth. Bold, which bolds the titles, that sort of thing. And stripe, which puts different highlighting behind some of these invoice lines. So it depends. It's up to you which one you prefer. I think the lighter ones, the cleaner ones are better. But it's a personal. It's whatever works best for you. Whatever ones you like. Fonts is whatever fonts is available on the system. There's not a lot there, but I think this one looks quite good anyway. We can set a background if we want, but I like the nice clean cut, so we'll leave that. And also consider too that when you're printing out invoices and things, if you've got images and things in the background, then that's a lot of ink that's going to get used up. So we want to be conservative when we're running a business. So we want it to look good, we want to look professional, but at the same time we don't want it to overwhelm our printer costs. The next thing we do is set a tagline, and a tagline for here is, given it the word games, I'm going to say fun times for everyone, and exclamation mark. You'll notice that doesn't change anything on the layout until I click away from it, and now it popped in that tagline up the top there in this particular layout. Next we can do, if we want to change some of these things, so if we're happy with that layout, maybe we don't want Australia in there, maybe we do, you can play around with these as much as you like. The footer has just got at the moment a link. I like to put in a bit more structure around it, so at the start I put in email, and then I might put in phone number, I might put in something else, but I might actually put in something that's important. How do people pay us? The BSB number, I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as the BSB, and I'm going to put account. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then what I'll do is I want to bold these. So if I highlight it, you'll notice that this little pop-up comes up. I can bold it or italic or change the formats, and I'll do the same for the BSB. Bold, and let's click away and see what that looks like. So now we've got that down the bottom. Very hard to see in this resolution, but if you download the PDF, you can then zoom in and just see what it looks like. And as I say, you can play around with these, get it, tweak it just the way you want it. This is the default layout, as I said, so this becomes a template that's used in a lot of other places. But it's, I just remember one of the other things you might want to put in there is something like your ABN number, if you want to have that in there, or something else. We'll leave it at that for now. We don't need to go too far. I think that's kind of looking good. It's a pretty good looking layout. Just have a quick look at what it looks like in box with that one. That's not bad. I don't mind that either. Oh, that's boxed there. That one, sorry. Yeah, personal preference. It's a nice layout. Bold, which is just the bold. I like the bold. To tell you the truth, I like all of them. It's at the end of the day, it's a personal preference. I'll stick with a light one, and we'll save. So what that's given us is a great place to start. We've got a secure login now, which is the most important thing to do as soon as you get a brand new database set up. You want to make sure that no one can log in there, and these systems have a lot of private information in there, so you want to really control who can access it and who can update it, and you want to make sure that you're always protecting yourself from the bad people on the internet. So good secure passwords, and make sure you keep those private and don't put them on sticky notes and those sorts of things where people can walk up and see what your password is, because it's really keys to your door. In this case, this is the most. This user account that we set up right here, this one user, is the power user. They're the ones with all the power. So make sure that user account is protected. Okay, I'll leave that then for now, and I'll see you on the next one.